Summer reading is a way to travel if you can't afford to travel. And summer reading is a way to go inside your imagination. And it's also a way to safely explore places that you might not feel comfortable going to, but when you see them on paper, you learn a great deal and you widen your world.
Today we have Vicki Palmquist with us, and we are going to talk about summer reading programs. But first, let's talk about who you are and your history with books.
Well, I've been passionate about children's books ever since I worked as a page at the St. Louis Park Library in Hennepin County. And from that time, I fell in love with picture books and with middle grade books. We didn't call them that. And I went on from there to work in bookstores and libraries and at the university. Worked on a children's literature degree, so I've been passionate about children's books. After doing all of that, my husband and I started Children's Literature Network about 15 years ago, and we did that for 14 years and tried to build a community around children's books in the Twin Cities area and throughout the country. And now we have Winding Oak Literary Services, which works primarily with children's authors, illustrators, and publishers.
It grew to be across the country.
That's right.
So, do you know the farthest author, like from Minnesota? I know we kind of are in the middle, but who's the farthest one away?
Well, we have a client in the tippy top of Alaska.
Really?
Yes, Barrow, Alaska, and we have several clients out in California in the San Francisco area, one in Florida, and a couple up in the northeastern part of the country.
Oh, wow.
So, and in between, so.
You have a couple of fingers through Winding Oak, right? Can you explain that a little bit, and then we'll go into it?
There's Bookology Magazine, which is an online magazine that publishes articles throughout the month based around a bookstore. So this month, for example, it's Turn Left at the Cow by Lisa Bullard. So we're focusing on mysteries.
Okay.
And last month we did A River of Words, the book about poet William Carlos Williams that Jen Bryant and Melissa Sweet did. So we focused on poetry and different types of poets. So we always try to do something, and the object of the magazine is to bring educators, librarians, and families closer in connection to children's books and their creators.
That's the same with book hounds. We're on the search for good books, and we'd love you to meet the authors behind them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great video way of getting in touch with authors that you may not know yet. I can tell you about Quercus.
Yes, please.
Our company name is Winding Oak, and everybody says, what does Quercus mean? Well, it's the genus name of the oak tree.
Right.
So that is a weekly magazine that we send out by email that tells people about events around the country and we curate the news for people. So we're out there reading to pull things together that we think you need to know to be in the know.
Right, that makes sense. So Bookology Magazine and Quercus, they're two different publications.
Right, two purposes.
With two different audiences or just two different purposes?
Same audience, different purposes.
And are they a paid subscription, or are they can you find them anywhere online?
BookologyMagazine.com is free to everybody, and the Quercus newsletter is $20 a year. Okay. And it's delivered weekly.
And that's, yeah, and it's only $20 a year.
Right.
And that's 52 weeks, so it's less than 50 cents a thing.
Per issue.
Thank you. Yes. One of those is Heather Frederick Vogel, right?
Heather Bogle-Frederick.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
I do love you. You're probably not going to watch this, but I do love you. I actually emailed you, and you emailed me back, and I was like, oh, I'm dying. This is so cool.
Well, she just moved to Concord, Massachusetts, which is the setting for her Mother-Daughter Book Club books.
I know. Those books are so great. I love those books.
They are fabulous. I'm just finishing number 7.
Is that her newest one?
It's Mother-Daughter Book Camp.
Yep, I haven't read that one.
It's fabulous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really good. Perfect summer reading book.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to do that with my daughters.
Absolutely.
Although, are the daughters in the Mother-Daughter Book Club now too old? Or are they still?
They're counselors at the camp.
Oh, sweet! So there's younger kids there.
That's right.
Okay, good. That'll be a good thing.
Oh yeah, and homesickness is a big topic in the book. So.
And it's one of my daughter's first times going to camp this summer.
See?
We'll have to do it.
Perfect tie-in.
Perfect
Absolutely.
timing. Okay, so let's talk about summer reading programs. I know you have a summer reading program, but also here in the Twin Cities, we have the Melsa Bookawaki summer reading program.
Right.
Do you know the history behind that at all?
You know, it's been going on for a number of years.
Yeah.
And Minnesota is one of the states that always produces its own summer reading program. So
can you tell us about the summer reading road trip program?
Absolutely. When I was a kid and school was out for the summer, there were 2 things I really wanted to do. One was play outside all day, and the other one was read books whenever I could. Mm-hmm. And I went through piles of books. And that was so much fun for me, and I really would love to have other children have that experience today. And so we put together what we call Summer Reading Road Trip, and it's 18 books designed for ages 8 to 12, and they're all set in a specific location in the United States. So you can actually take a road trip by reading through the various books and going to the different states.
That's really cool. So in your imagination, you're going to these different places.
Right. And we designed it so that if you're a family getting inside of a car and going on a road trip, you could read these books out loud. There are family discussion questions on the website. There's also videos from the authors talking about the books and sharing plans about where they're going during the summer.
Oh, of all the authors?
Yes.
Of all 18?
Right.
Wow. So, okay, Lynn Johnell's book, The Sign of the Cat, right? That's one of the books. That's not actually going to a state anywhere. You want to talk about that?
That's book number 1. And if you look at the map online at summer-reading-road-trip.com.
We'll have it in the show notes.
If you look at that, you'll see that her book is in the Atlantic Ocean. And when we talk about that book, it's actually in the state of fantasy.
Because you got to pretend.
That's right. And it's the only one like that. The rest are all set in a very specific place. So book number 2 is Tango, Tale of an Island Dog, and that's set in Prince Edward Island.
In Canada.
Right.
Where Anne of Green Gables is.
Exactly.
Okay. Are they all are they all picture books? Or are they all middle grade or are they all both?
There are some picture books that are appropriate for ages 8 to 12, and then there are poetry books, and there are novels, and there are some books that skew toward the lower end of that reading range and some that skew toward the upper end of it.
So to challenge the ones that are in maybe the lower reading range.
Right.
But also to just be nice, fun, easy reads for the ones who can read.
Well, and all of them are made so that families will enjoy reading them.
Well, this is the perfect thing for book hounds. You need to be part of this family lit program. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's more about this. Okay, so you read your books. You read all 18, which is kind of nice instead of keeping track of time. Because sometimes that could be how long did you read today? I didn't write it down. This is just keep track of the books. So what are most summer reading programs have prizes. So can you tell us about those?
Sure. For one thing, everybody can download a bookmark for each of the books. Those are there online. So once you've read one book, your adult can go and sign up so that you are registered to win a signed copy. We're giving away 18 books that have been signed, and then there's a grand prize of winning all 18 books signed by the authors.
Okay, so for each book that you sign up for, you had that extra. You can sign up for each book, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then once you've read 12 books, you can sign up to get, and you will absolutely get this, a letter from the author for your child. And then once you've read 18 books, you can sign up for a giveaway. We're going to draw 10 names to do Skype visits with your classroom or library. So that's really, or we could even do it with a family book club.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be really fun. I think Book Hounds needs to get on this. Are you thinking, so do you know, are you thinking, the 10 visits, have you already determined which authors are going to be visiting?
Yes.
Are they, oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
we know which ones have time to do that. Some of them are working on book deadlines, and so it's really hard to interrupt them. But the other ones said, sure, I'll be happy to do a Skype visit.
I've heard that's becoming very popular to do.
Very much. It's a great way to not draw the authors away from the work that they're doing, because we all want to read their next book.
Yeah, but still have them interact with their classes.
Exactly.
And usually author visits cost money, so this would be a free author visit.
This would be a free author visit, exactly.
And think of just that little bit of work you did, and your whole class gets to benefit
That's
from it.
right, because you read 18 books, your
Yeah.
entire class gets to visit with the author.
That's so cool.
A lot of studies have been done about reading and the fact that while they're reading in school, they are reading up to a certain level. And once summer comes along, if they take the time off and don't read, then that level drops. And when they start school again the following fall, they're behind where they were when school ended the previous year.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like practicing the piano.
Yeah.
You keep practicing reading, but reading fun books that
Right.
you get to choose during
Right.
the summertime.
Right, exactly. So, these reading programs are just a way to encourage them.
Exactly.
And the summer reading road trip is for the whole family to enjoy it together.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's the practice of reading, but actually reading yourself. But there's also the reading aloud part and just listening to the story. Should they be doing both, or should one be over the other, or what do you think would be more important, or is there not a more important one?
Listening to books and getting the story and the ideas from the book, that really is just as important. But of course, there's the recognition of words and the physical process of reading. So we would suggest that parents do a little bit of both.
Okay.
Choose some books that can be read out loud, because those will take longer as people have time. But then encourage your child to read other books on their own.
Yeah.
We also have included a number of nonfiction books, such as Melissa Stewart's A Place for Butterflies, which talks about conservation. So if you're at home or out traveling around, you can get into good conversations about butterflies that you see around you and why we as human beings have to do something to protect them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are these books that you've chosen are based in, like, the state that you've chosen them for is the setting of the book, not necessarily where the author's from, correct?
Oh, absolutely. It's the setting of the book.
Okay,
Right.
okay, so that's good to know. Because I think there's 2 or 3 Minnesota authors.
I think we actually have 5 of them.
Yeah, you'd be in Minnesota for a long time if
That's
that's
right.
what you're doing it.
And we love our state, but not everybody wants to spend their whole summer here.
Right.
So there's 2 books set in California. Will Hobbs, for example, lives in Colorado, but his book is set in South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
So, and with Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
Yes. So, and it's all about extreme sports.
Is that one of your nonfiction?
It's actually fiction.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm like, either way, extreme sports is fun to read about, whether it's fiction
That's
or
right.
nonfiction.
You bet.
Because usually the nonfiction ones, you're like, this did not really happen. This really happened.
Well, in another book, John Coy is a Minnesota author, but his book is set in North Carolina. and it's about an illegal basketball game, and it's a true story.
We talked about that on Book Hounds.
Oh, great. That's right.
Yeah.
He was a Book Hound
Yep,
author.
he was one of the first
Summer
ones.
reading
Yeah.
is a way to travel if you can't afford to travel. And summer reading is a way to go inside your imagination. And it's also a way to safely explore places that you might not feel comfortable going to, but when you see them on paper, you learn a great deal and you widen your world. And that really is what summertime is all about.
That's true. It's learning in a whole different way.
That's right.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for asking to talk with us.
It was fun.
Enjoy the summer reading road trip.
We will.
Okay.
You lived in Minnesota that your whole life?
No, I'm actually from Wisconsin.
From Wisconsin.
I am. I'm a baseball fan.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
my answer. And it's the Twins all the way.
Yeah, us too.